Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Transition Awareness Breathing Podcast. This is Eartha, and thank you for coming back and joining us. This is our final episode of a 3-part series using essential oils with mindfulness with our special guest, Jennifer Strickland. Last time, Jennifer shared with us how essential oils help our bodies and how we can use essential oils with different practices in changing our thoughts and how it decreases our stress and some of those chemical changes that go on. She also shared with us how our bodies can really tell the difference between synthetic fragrances and natural fragrances. So before we get started with our final episode, I'd just like to share a little bit of information about mindfulness. Just in review, mindfulness is paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and physical reactions in the present moment, in what we call the now. Paying attention to what is around us, like the temperatures, our feelings, our thoughts, as we are practicing, whether it's relaxation breathing or using essential oils. When we talk about mindfulness, that's what we're referring to. Awareness is when we're using our 5 senses to help bring information into our brain when we're using the mindfulness practice. So as we're using mindfulness practices such as the body scan, it's suggested that when we begin our body scan, we start from the feet and we pay attention to our sensations and our thoughts as we maybe are taking a mindful walk or as we're sitting down. And then we proceed up from the feet to our legs and our knees. And as we practice this mindfulness body scan, we pay attention to our breath, the movement of our body, the shoulders, when our stomach moves in and out, the temperature of our breath, and also paying attention to the thoughts. If we encounter any pressures or pain, we pay attention to that. We don't want to ignore it and say, oh, this doesn't really hurt, or there's no pressure, but we acknowledge what's going on, what's our thoughts and our feelings, because oftentimes those pressures and that tension is so wound up within us that it comes and is perceived as pain. So we really want to pay attention to our thoughts and our feelings as we're doing our body scan and using that breath as the anchor, taking a gentle breath in our nose and blowing it out. And you don't necessarily have to count, but just paying attention to the movement of our bodies as we take that breath. There's so much more to share about mindfulness, but I thought this would be helpful as Jennifer prepares us to do the Aroma Reset practice that goes along with her essential oils consultation. And so enjoy the rest of the show. At the end of this podcast, you'll be able to contact Jennifer with the contact information that she is providing. So thank you again for joining us and enjoy the rest of our program.
Okay, I'd love to see a demonstration of your technique.
Okay, so this is called the Aroma Reset technique. And first, I'll just say it's super important to make sure you don't just run to the store and get any oil, because you are breathing this concentrated in. It can go past the blood-brain barrier, and you don't want just anything in your brain, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to go with the pure thing. I can tell you about my website in the end, so you can just go and get what you need. Do not just run out and get. It's better to do this without any oils than to go out to the store to just get any. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So the first step in the Aroma Freedom, it's the Aroma Freedom technique, but the Aroma Reset techniques of the Aroma Freedom. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So the first thing you do is you identify the situation. So you think of a current situation that feels overwhelming, frustrating, confusing, identify what that is. And then once you can clearly picture it, then you go to the next step. So you have to identify what the situation is first, because
So
a
you
lot of
identify
time,
one or a lot, or
Mhm.
if there's multiple things on your mind, or
You're going to have
you
to do
start
one at a time, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
do one at a time. And a lot of times we have these actions and behaviors that we don't realize why we have them, right? And so that's when we have to just like stop what we're doing. Okay, what is the situation that I'm dealing with right now? It may be multiple situations, so just take them apart, set one aside. Right now, I'm frustrated because the dog dumped food all over the floor. Okay, so that could be one situation. Another one could be my son came home and left his homework at home and, whatever. So, and then another one could be I'm not prepared for dinner. So, there could be all kinds of things going on. It's important to separate those out. Let's work with one at a time. So that is step one. Okay, step two is now identifying the feeling. So yes, there's a difference between the situation and the feeling that's identified with it. So if the dog spilled food all over the floor, then that's the situation. The feeling is, what am I feeling about that? I'm feeling frustrated. Okay. So you have to choose one word that describes how you feel when you picture that situation. So there also is a difference between, make sure it is an emotion that you're targeting, because sometimes you say like, I feel worthless or something, and that's not really an emotion. So what is, like, when you feel worthless, what is the feeling associated with that, right? So with the frustration, we have targeted frustration is an emotion. Okay. So now once you have named the emotion, this one's going to get a little bit weird, but just go with it. You're going to locate the feeling in your body. So, and that we have feelings that we can locate, like we can experience something that is stressful, like we're getting ready to go up on stage, right? And you feel like that lump in your throat. That's a feeling in your body. It's right here. You can hear about something tragic that happened and you just feel such, like it's in your heart. You can feel that it's aching, right? So imagine the situation, identify the emotion, frustration, and where do you feel that in your body? And just go with it. Just let your intuition tell you. It can be just like the pit of your stomach, like, okay, go with it. Okay. So then once you have found that, that in your body, you can move on. Another thing you might feel is just like a slumping in your posture, right? That's also like probably your shoulders, like the world's bearing down on you. So that could be another one. Okay, now you're going to identify the negative thought that's associated with that. So the dog spilled the dog food. Then there's frustration. I feel it like right in my chest. It's really frustrating right here. And then the negative thought is something where that may take a little stress. Or stretch in your mind. What is the negative thought that's associated with that? Well, why am I feeling this way? Because I don't have enough time to deal with all of this. That may be the negative thought that's associated with that. Like, or nothing is going right today. That may be the negative thought. So find out what that negative thought is that's connected with the feeling. Now we can do the essential oil part of it. So these three are an amazing combination of oils to work through all of this. So you can put 1 drop of lavender, frankincense, and stress away into your palm and rub them together. So, there's 1 drop of lavender, 1 drop of frankincense, and again, don't just run down to your little. It doesn't matter if it's a faith-based store. They don't know.
Or the organic store.
Or the organic store.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes. So you put all 3 in there, and I got a bonus drop out of one of those at least. Okay. And then you breathe it in. Okay. So you just close your eyes, inhale deeply while focusing on the situation. Let yourself feel it. That's another thing that we don't just sit with the feelings sometimes. So let yourself feel it. Feel the bodily sensation and the negative thought, and then notice what happens to the picture of the situation in your mind and how you feel in your body and your mind as you go through that. So what often happens is I'll have people do that, just sit there and breathe through it. My kids, even myself, just like breathing through that with those oils and stuff. And what tends to happen is the picture in my mind starts to just kind of dissipate.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to decide what's next. Something shifted. Something shifts in your mind when this happens. So you can decide whether to get on with your day in a more relaxed, calm, and clear mode, or you can decide to use the technique again to clear out other issues, like usually it's multiple issues. Okay, I'm okay with the dog spilling the dog food. No big deal. Let's deal with the next issue. Go on and start going through that whole same process with that, and then allow yourself to work through the whole thing. So that is the Aroma Reset. Really easy, really quick. It works amazingly with kids. Kids respond to this very quickly. Sit them down, go through the process, and it helps them to learn to connect their actions, behaviors, emotions, and thoughts, all of it together, because we go through our whole life not connecting those things.
It smells wonderful in here, Jennifer. And you share a lot of great information. So in summary, what do you want to leave your audience with if you had to kind of wrap it up in a few words, a few sentences?
Well, I would say don't continue in your life without essential oils because you're missing a big piece. It's a big part of our lives. I can't imagine living without it. Like, we use them for everything. We use them for cleaning. We use them for our first aid kit, Dr. Mom stuff, when we're going camping, when we're traveling, we use them for everything. And I truly believe that, the plants on the earth are kind of like part of us, It's like we're all biological, and there's a reason for plants to be here, to work, for our health. And so I would challenge anybody to just do your research, start using essential oils, and see how it changes your life. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I really appreciate your time. And for our listeners, the stress is real that you're experiencing. And in mindfulness, we don't block out the stress, and we don't pretend it doesn't exist. So whatever technique that you want to use something. Decide how you want to manage your stress, and talk to people. Don't feel like you're alone.
Yeah.
Because one thing that when we have stress and it's bottled up, it kind of exaggerates things in our body. Not that things are not like stressful, but it just is exaggerated, and then it's piled on, and that allostatic syndrome just kicks in. And so start now. Don't be alone. Reach out to someone, friends, therapist, mindfulness, aromatherapy, something, and get started managing your stress, so that you can be there for your loved ones and your family. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you again next time. Thank you, Jennifer.